Uh, all right, so you guys, I have a channel message. Community gang stalkers risking their physical safety to consciously nurture toxic habits of covert stalking and have diamond precision clarity as to why boundaries have strengthened toward them. I'll say this two more times. This is a community message, and then we'll get some tarot cards. But community gang stalkers risking their physical safety to consciously nurture toxic habits of covert stalking and have diamond precision clarity as to why boundaries have strengthened towards them. Community gang stalkers risking their physical safety to consciously nurture toxic habits of covert stalking and have diamond precision clarity as to why boundaries have strengthened toward them. So that is a channel message that we guys are blessed with. All right. I don't feel there's any need for you to be concerned about the safety of your loved ones or yourself. If anything, if someone is risking their physical safety, that right there says, they have less chance of survivability uh, in the world that we live in, okay? If you're not focused on becoming your best self at this present point in time, you know, uh, that right there is that right there is you have to be held accountable. But the fact that we have community gang stalkers literally risking their physical safety to go back to old comfortable habits of covert stalking. And they know exactly why certain individuals want nothing to do with them. What does the cards have to say? Let's find out. I woke up out my sleep for this. We have the Justice card, supported by the Karma card and the Three of Wands. Okay. Yeah, I woke up out my sleep for this. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I wanted to lay in bed for a little bit longer, but I felt led to get up. So the Justice card, the Karma, and the Three of Wands. All right, so let's talk about it. So remember we mentioned community gang stalkers and covert stalking. Well, this is where this Three of Wands comes up. It's most of the time very difficult to catch community gang stalkers actually consciously, covertly stalking their quote unquote victims of choice. For the most part, there is usually a high level of organization that takes place. But we are in a time where community gang stalkers don't actually have any safety. So, what this is saying is that community gang stalkers are willing to get physically harmed just to nurture old toxic habits of covert stalking, okay? We're in a time where community gang stalkers don't really have much support. And while people around them are actually, taking the time to become self mastered, certain community gang stalkers are just continuously continuing toxic habits that they would feel threatened if the same habits happened to them. Community gang stalkers who um, do not want to face their shadow side. This is why they're doing covert stalking and they don't actually have any organized help, nor do they have support. But the fact that they're still trying to get away with doing what they did before that gave them a false sense of community, this is ludicrous. There's no common sense here. This is why you're being asked to not engage with them. More than likely, with the Justice card, this will be financially compensated. because these people are getting sloppy, especially with this karma. They're receiving basically the whatever intentions they sent out that could harm somebody else. That's taking place. They're receiving their karma. So, in between you getting freedom away from these people, whatever they hope would happen to you is taking place to them. But you also understand people who are not able to, receive what they dish out. Well, of course, they're still doing, the blame game. That's why they're going back to stalking. The stalking makes them feel comfortable. The stalking makes them feel like they have a sense of belonging in a community. But if community gang stalkers no longer have financial support to do community gang stalking, this makes them a weak link in identifying the head of stalking. Now, remember, on the old channel, the head of community gang stalking will be at its weakest if they're the weakest links that they have are disorganized. And right now, this is why the justice card is coming up. Community gang stalkers are no longer getting paid to do community gang stalking. There's no more funds to do illegal research on people who are able to sustain their own way of living during very harsh financial times. So the community gang stalkers who are lonely and who are seeking community support, but who have burned bridges with very many people, instead of them actually, developing self discipline and self control, they're getting caught up in physically, literally, covertly stalking again. And this is why they're risking their physical safety because whoever used to fund the community gang stalking no longer has the resources to do it. And they're not going to sit there and allow some sloppy people who do not have emotional regulation mastered to get them caught up in some things. Okay? You know, the community gang stalkers, they're the leaders of the original form of community gang stalking you may be under. When they had the funds, it gave these people, it gave the community gang stalkers a sense of purpose to be able to strategically be a burden to you and then act as if they had no idea of the difficulties they were causing you behind the scenes. When they had more support, it was very fun and delightful for them to sit back and act as if they were unaware that, you felt uncomfortable around them, even though they knew that if someone did to them what they were doing to others, they would definitely try to get the law involved. So the fact that, these very messy community gang stalkers are back up to their old bullshit says they are basically not going to be able to remain under the radar anymore. Because if the leader of community gang stalking, I'm picking up, is getting very organized, right? And getting their shit together. I'm picking up that the leader of this community gang stalking that once took place, they're actively working on, making peace with past things that they can't actually change in this current moment. Well, the ones who no longer are affiliated and associated with them will no longer be tolerated because they're getting sloppy. Okay, they getting so sloppy. You can set such stern boundaries with them, and it will make them appear just as off balance as they truly are. Um, these are the people that when you set boundaries with them, it's not going to be received in a manner where it's going to be challenged. These boundaries that you set with them will reveal their vulnerabilities. And because they're not working on self mastery, what will happen is instead of them being able to logically and efficiently and effectively to verbally communicate with you, you know, that they have received with clarity the boundaries set, any acts of ignorant bliss will not be well received. Let's get a couple of messages. All right, so oh child. Now let's talk about it. These people, we have the Eight of Swords up, right? We have the Justice card, supported by the Karma card. We have the Ten of Pentacles and the Fool card, okay? Now, these particular community gang stalkers, they can be traced back to gossiping, okay? Um, During the time when they're the leader of the community gang stalking had the finances, to fund the community gang stalking, it was a source of collaboration and friendship for them. However, this particular group of community gang stalkers I'm picking up, they fell apart with this Ten of Pentacles coming up here. They fell apart when they realized how much money was involved in defamation of character with the Eight of Swords. Now, most people, when they think of the Eight of Swords, it's well, actually, I'm gonna take the back. It's very different. But here is where they strategically wanted you to feel as if you had no way away from them, okay? And you had to get very strategic with the Fool card, and being able to create boundaries with them that could not be crossed. This is exactly why the Justice and the Karma card is showing up. You had to break old habits of self sabotage to be able to see exactly what these people were doing and how they were doing it. But now these people want a ceasefire. Now you have to take into consideration. We got the Temperance card showing up here. I'm not going to show you the card since it's already dark in this video. But these people would like a ceasefire. These are like the people that when they get caught being very reckless and irresponsible, they're not accountable enough to say what we did negatively impacted ourselves and others. We need to figure out why we're doing what we're doing so we can become more considerate of our neighborhoods and our neighbors, but most of all, ourselves and our relationship to ourselves. No, these people, they just figure, hey, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. With the Temperance card, it don't work like that. You don't do community gang stalking. Community gang stalking is very organized and orchestrated for long, and they did it for long periods of time before they were told to cease fire. So what's happening is we also have the High Priestess and the Four of Wands. These particular community gang stalkers are experiencing having to be by themselves. This is a time where people they're not willing to risk their inner peace to deal with someone who's a difficult communicator. And instead of these, quote unquote, former community gang stalkers, making peace with being by themselves for long periods of time, they decided to go back to covertly stalking people without, having a sense of what's truly going on in their environment. Okay, they have been if they haven't fully been isolated, um, away from, healthy people, they burn bridges so much to the point that healthy people want nothing to do with them. This is why boundaries have gotten so strict with them, that the fact that they are, what's the word? Foolishly, recklessly, and messily gang stalking you again is exactly why they're gonna basically be like be an example of why you need to be able to spend time by yourself and have a good time. Let's just say the leader of the community gang stalking, who is no longer participating in community gang stalking, is not going to feel very happy when they hear about how messy these people get when you know when they're not able to emotionally regulate. All right. If you're the leader of community gang stalking and you have organized strategic gang stalking and you were once able to pay people properly, well, this particular leader of gang stalking feels as if the people that once worked with them still worked with them, but they don't have the funds to pay the people that used to, do their bidding. At the same time, they're trying to wipe their hands clean of even being attached to community gang stalking, that the justice system has gotten involved. And let's just say it's a lot of money involved. So, the leader of community gang stalking, when they actually find out what's taking place, is not going to be very happy with certain former community gang stalkers who are not able to emotionally regulate on their own. And let's get one more message, because honestly, when I'm, doing tarot and delivering messages like um, this is it teaches me tolerance. I'm gonna tell y'all, tolerance is being strengthened here. You got to learn tolerance at this point. Tolerance will save your life. Humility will save your life. And that's exactly why we have the Fool card. Remain humble with this transition. Realize that individuals who thought that they could continuously get away with making others uncomfortable behind the scenes with um, passive aggressive bullying, they won't be able to do this. Okay? There's a reason for this. They won't be able to just, oh, I'm having a bad day, so I feel I'm going to make somebody uncomfortable. They won't continue to do this. And the fact that they felt comfortable doing this in the first place, this is what's going to get that justice in your favor. This is what's going to expose the leader of community gang stalking. But the leader of the community gang stalking is not going to want to hear, hold on, you out here doing some stupid shit again? Why would you be doing that at a time like this? Now, the leader of the community gang stalker is fully aware of what's taking place. But the fact that they may be hearing eventually that some very messy former community gang stalkers who have not actually mastered emotional regulation, emotional awareness, is out and about doing stupid shit to get them caught at a time when they need to be quote unquote laying low, it's not going to be well received. That's why the Fool card is here, saying stay humble. Don't be in their face like, I told you so, ha ha, ha ha. Look, when you have former community gang stalkers risking their physical safety, because this is how unbearable loneliness is to them, this says you don't want to get involved with these people. If they're risking their physical safety because they do not know how to be alone by themselves, if they burn the bridges that they needed to maintain receiving their basic needs to the point that those people have strengthened their boundaries with them and continue strengthening their boundaries with them. Remain humble because if you act big headed, these people will try to take advantage of the situation for personal gain. Okay? This doesn't mean that they have support. This just simply means this is how desperate they are. And they will try to use what used to work to create another situation. Humility will save you a lot of trouble from having to deal with these people who have no support. When I say they burn so many fucking bridges to the point that that they can scroll through their phones and have a whole bunch of names and numbers, and the people want nothing to do with them. They burn bridges. So with this Seven of Wands now, these people are learning that playing victim and then projecting their victimized perspective onto others is causing them trouble. For example, people simply want to relax and be able to have a stress-free kind of life. But when these former community gang stalkers once had these bridges intact that weren't yet burned, they would utilize the resources that they had, people, money, time, to create more drama. Now we in a point in time where you have people who are no longer community gang stalking and they just don't want nothing to do with these people because these people have burned bridges to the point where it's like, hold on, such and such about to call. We need to make sure such and such before it used to be we're busy. We got stuff to do. Now it's I'm not busy. I just don't want shit to do with you. Get the fuck off my phone. And I know you're gonna try to gaslight the situation. But at the end of the day, this is my phone. You call me. I don't give a flying fuck what you want to talk about and how you feel. When I say people getting gutter with these people, if these people cross their boundaries, people not sparing their feelings no more. When you spare these former community gang stalkers who lack emotional regulations, feelings, they keep doing stupid shit. So this is why they're afraid to open their mouths. That's why they're passively aggressively doing bullying. But what they don't understand is while they may be trying to make sure it doesn't look messy, the shit looks messy. The shit looks so messy it's gonna catch the attention of the wrong person. And it's gonna have these people with their back up against the wall. The fact that I repeated the channel message 3 times, I literally woke up out my sleep. Um, and I felt I had to put this message out. When you have someone willing to risk their physical safety, they don't give a flying fuck about you. If you have skin and they have skin and you understand that we all bleed red, who would literally put themselves in a position to harm themselves at a time that we're in instead of learning to love themselves? Okay? So, this is telling you, do not worry, stay humble. Okay? You guys will be receiving the financial support that you guys deserve for basically staying graceful and mature when dealing with these very immature people. Okay? With the lovers card here, you guys have had to create some, you guys have had to be very responsible when it has come to decision making. With the high priestess, you guys have had to learn to trust your intuition. Because when I say before, when the community gang stalking was much more organized, you had less safety. And now these people are experiencing the safety or the lack of safety the atmosphere that they created for you. Real shit. These people had created an atmosphere where you could not be safe, and now they're experiencing this lack of safety. But the fact that they do not care if they get hurt, that means they don't care if you get hurt. That means they don't care if an innocent child or a cute little animal gets hurt. These people, look, let them just sit there and be humble as they self destruct. Sit there and simply watch them and learn from them. These people are not in a mentality where you could basically logically speak to them and say, hey, you know, what's taking place here is showing that you're having stress, and the way you're, exemplifying this stress is very toxic. They're not in a place to receive that and then, take the necessary steps to better themselves. So this is why the Fool card is present. You have to basically do stuff outside of your comfort zone so that they will not be able to get access to you. Their personal fears and limitations will prohibit them from actually following you. Now, if you do the same thing every day, they're gonna get too comfy and too yeah, they're gonna get too comfy and try to basically create situations where it feels as if you did something to them, playing victim. And the reason they would do this is because they're fucking lonely as hell. But what they not gonna tell you is that they don't have any support because they burn almost every fucking bridge. Remember I said I can picture someone scrolling through a phone full of numbers and names, and they know that if they call these people, it's not gonna be well received. It's not gonna be, oh, I understand why you called. I have some time for you. It's not gonna be you can come over and we can talk about it. No, ain't no look. They probably got the numbers are probably blocked. People probably done blocked them. People probably changed their number. People probably made it clear. It's not that I'm busy. I just don't want to talk to you. So if you misinterpret that, we can get the law involved. The fact that you had former community gang stalkers willing to risk, basically willing to lose their freedom to protect themselves from other former community gang stalkers, says that stay humble, because these people who do not know how to deal with loneliness healthily, they don't understand. The fact that they keep self sabotaging is exactly why people keep abandoning them. When you deal with toxic people who self sabotage every fucking day and say, I'm sorry, but they know exactly what they doing and how they doing it, you stay humble because they're showing you that we're all ignorant. When I say we're all ignorant, they're showing you that if you don't make peace with your ignorance, you can get yourself literally killed out here. And that's what's going to happen to some of them. They're going to get themselves killed out here. Child. So realize financial compensation will be available for you for this very traumatic event. Look, when you being community gang stalked by narcissistic individuals who they want to make up excuses as to why they're failing at life, and it's like they failing at life and they just want to be just they want others to feel their pain. You have to learn the art of grace, because if you don't be graceful with these people, especially when they have resources, they'll take advantage of a situation and create something out of nothing. Now, the King of Pentacles is supported by the Lovers, and the high priestess. So, on another note, the fact that you are able to gracefully navigate community gang stalkers has attracted the attention of someone who is financially conscious and financially savvy. Okay? Um, King of Pentacles energy, they don't actually like to just consort with just about anybody. They need people who can be on their P's and Q's at all times, in all ways, because the King of Pentacles energy has to politic quite often. So the fact that you're able to maintain well under pressure on a consistent basis has a King of Pentacles energy um, in the lover's energy towards you. Now, the King of Pentacles, they can basically get just about anybody that they would like. But when the King of Pentacles is focused and eye lasered on one person, this means, it's a whole nother story. So, because you have been able to gracefully navigate community gang stalkers um, who are emotionally disconnected from themselves and have been endangering people in their external environment, and you're able to do it uh, gracefully. You've caught the attention of someone who um, is, when it comes to finances, if they're not yet financial leaders, they definitely will be the financial leaders that they're choosing to be right now. Um, they have romantic interest in you with the Lovers card here. So basically, it's turned into an 18 plus reading. Okay, yeah. Um, this I'm getting good energy though. This is a eight. It is turned into an 18 plus. So someone who likes that you know how to politic under adverse pressure would like to give you the business. If you're the female, and if you're the masculine, well, you know, dealing with community gang stalkers, you don't want to just be making money all the time. You want to be able to share intimacy with someone who's not a gold digger. You also more than likely want to be able to share, you know, um, vulnerabilities, a safe space for vulnerabilities as well with someone who is intuitive. So, if you're the female, there's a masculine making their way towards you. Um, they're not forcing anything on you because you know the trauma of community gang stalking. It can really take a toll on one who doesn't master their emotional vulnerabilities. Okay. If you're the feminine, a masculine is making their way towards you. If you're the masculine, you're actively making your way towards having a romantic connection with someone who's intuitive. And this will help heal that trauma of community gang stalking from individuals who do not know how to deal with being lonely. And without further ado, we're going to end this because this is a good way to end a reading. The way this reading started out, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I felt irritation. I felt grateful for the awareness. But I also just felt at a point where it was like, are they ever going to learn a lesson? But I feel that they're supposed to get caught doing what they're doing to usher in the finances that you deserve for them consciously re traumatizing you with community gang stalking. Okay? They need to physically get caught so that you can be able to receive financial compensation for consciously seeking to re-traumatize you just because they don't know how to deal with their own trauma. However, if you had a conversation with these people, they wouldn't be able to, logically explain an emotion or the process of how the emotion works. So, literally, them getting caught in the act will allow you to be able to attract the finances so that you will not have to literally be near them in any way possible. So, um, you might also be moving. So, when you remove yourself from this situation because they are stalking, when they get caught, you'll be able to move into a location where they won't even be able to even know what you're cooking for breakfast. They won't even be able to know what you got going on. They gonna just sit there and realize that they have less safety than they had before. All right, and we're gonna end it there. I hope y'all have a good day.